Now, in continuation of our basic bodies class, we're going to use this basic bodies draft to also do your sleeve pattern. So how do you go about it? The first thing you need to do, understand, is that to draft a sleeve lock, you need to first get the circumference of the armhole round of the front from SP to the underarm point of the back and that of the front. I'm going to sum it together. So I'm going to do that now. So watch as I'm going to do it, then I will now tell you other necessary measurements. Now the first, you just have to place your tape measure on your SP point, then go towards the armhole till you get to the underarm point of the back. Now on my pattern here I have 22 cm, so you can write it down. The armhole round of the back is 22 cm. Then you can continue from the 22 cm to get the one of the back, or you measure it separately. So I'll measure the back as well, the front. Down here I have 22.5 cm. So the armhole round for the front is 22.5 cm, which means if I total the two of them, I'm having 44.5 cm as the total armhole circumference of both the back and the front block. Now I'm going to change the board so I can have a better space to draft the sleeve lock. Okay, now we're back to draft the sleeve lock. Like I said, that you need to also first of all to go and should have measured the circumference of your armhole, both the front and the back. So now let's add up to the required measurement. The first thing you need is you need the full required measurement for your sleeve lock. You need the full sleeve length. So for this sleeve length, I'll be using length 58 cm, which is the measurement of the sleeve from the shoulder point with your elbow bent, your arm bent, then to your wrist point. So this is 58 cm. Now you also need the measurement of your armhole round the armhole round or the circumference of the armhole front and the back, and we already did that. We add 44.5 cm. We also need the measurement of the top arm, which this one we don't have it yet. We need the crown depth measurements. I will need our point B reference measurement. Now you should have an understanding that just like we have a proportion table to draft our bodies block, we also have a proportion table that guides you drafting your sleeve block. And as you can see now, you are going to get this one either as a slide or in the textbook. You can check it out to be updated to it, so that you can have an idea of how it looks like. Now this is the first 5 measurements in the sleeve proportion table. We have top arm 28, the sleeve size is 33, the crown depth is 12.5, and the point B. The point B is the reference line measurement for the back part of the sleeve block. So now I have all of this now. So now let's calculate our own top arm from this chart. Now ours is not here. How do you do it? How do you get a top arm? From your front and back armhole round measurement, which is 44.5, you need to subtract 10 cm from it to get your top arm. So once you get your top arm, following the table of proportion, you use that top arm to also get your crown depth measurement and your point B. So now let's do a calculation. Our armhole round which is 44.5 cm minus 10 cm. This 10 cm is constant for you to determine the top arm of your sleeve block. So now 44.5 minus 10, that gives us what? 34.5 cm. So now I want to put in here, on your sleeve chart, you will be given that sleeve chart once the sleeve video is sent to you. Now here's going to be the 34, here's going to give us 39, here is the crown depth is 14 cm and the point B is 6. I'm not guessing it, but once you get the proportion table for the sleeve block, you're going to see all of this reference number or measurement there. Now we can go on now. Like I said, to draft your full sleeve block, all you need to understand that you need your full sleeve length, which is measured on the model or the person you're working for. Then the armhole round, you measure that on both the front armhole and the back, and that gave us 44.5 cm. That said, whatever you have here, you will use this particular formula, armhole round minus 10 cm, constant for all the sleeve block you are going to be drafting. Don't forget that there are different sleeve block patterns that you always come across. But for now, this is the method we are going to be using to draft our own sleeve block. Now, going forward, now to get your top arm, don't forget that the top arm is the measurement of the circumference of the fullest part of your upper arm, which is around here. But you don't need to disturb yourself trying to draft that. You will use this armhole round minus 10 cm to get that with the support of your sleeve proportion table. Now, for my 44.5 minus 10 give us 34.5. Definitely, this is where it falls on my table of proportion. So by tracing it now, you see that this one automatically shows me what my crown depth for this sleeve pattern is going to be. So I have a 34.5 cm. Then my crown depth is what? 14 cm. Then my point B is what? 6 cm. So with this particular measurement now, I can go ahead to draft my sleeve block. So now, the first thing you need to do on your pattern paper is to rule a straight line in the middle of your paper. That's usually easy for you to work with. Now I'm going to rule a straight line. So now, as was just said, so for us to now draft our sleeve block, we need to use the plain part of your paper. And the first thing to do is to rule a straight line in the middle of your paper. And I'm going to do that on my own draft in board. Procreate. I created a straight line. So after I have done that, try to create a top line. So once you do that, this is going to be the starting point of the sleeve. So this is my point 0, the middle line. So next for you to do is to measure your full sleeve length. And my full sleeve length on my measurement is 58 cm. So I'm going to do my full sleeve length from here. And I have this part. This is my 58 cm. Don't forget that nobody determines your sleeve length for you. It's your desired length. But for my own, I'm working with 58 cm. So once you've done this, the next thing for you to now do is to determine the crown depth of your sleeve block. And as you know that we've already gotten our crown depth measurement from the sleeve chart. So my crown depth here is 14 cm. So you measure that from your point O. So from point O, I measure my what? 14 cm. And you square across 14 cm, just square it across. Even your length to square it across so that you can have a straight line. I'm trying to establish all the lines. So the next line for us to establish on this sleeve diagram is to get your elbow point. To get the elbow point on the sleeve lock, you measure whatever you have from your crown depth point to the sleeve length, divide it by 2, then subtract 5 cm from it. So automatically I'm going to do this. So that's why we are having a practical figure to work with. Now from this spot to this point, I have a 44 cm. Now after 44 cm is going to give us 22 cm, right? So 22 cm, look at what I'm doing though. I have 22 cm. I'm going to dot it, but I'll go up 5 cm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be 17 cm. You get it? So measure 17 cm from under this crown and square it across. Square it across. So I already have all my necessary horizontal lines ruled out. So I have my crown depth line. I have my elbow line, and I have my full sleeve length. So the next thing for us to now do after doing all this is to get the width of the sleeve block. And how do you do that? Just have in mind that once you get your top arm automatically gives you the width or the width of the sleeve block. So what do we have here? We have 34.5 cm. So that means half of 34.5 cm is what? 17.25. That means I'm going to share the 17.25 from the middle line to get the width of my sleeve block. So I'm going to measure from here 17.25, then square it up and down. 17.25. So square it up. So now with this, I already have all my sleeve block properly highlighted. I'm trying to clean all these excess lines so we won't be distracted. So after this, the next thing you need to do now, divide the sleeve width into another equal halves. So here we already have 70.25. So half of 70.25 is going to give me, we use my tape measure. So I have this here, I have 8.6. So you square it up. So once you have you need to always divide this block into another equal halves. Now I'm doing this because I'm not working with my pattern paper direct and I can't fold on the board. So this is just more or less like my crease line on the paper. So you've gotten this. Now the next thing for us to now do now is to determine, so once you do this half of the sleeve, this is for the back part of the sleeve. while there is the front part of the sleeve. The one on your right is the front part of the sleeve. So now, as you already know that we said, in drafting your sleeve properly, there are some things that are also important, which is our point B reference measurement. And for this sleeve block, the point B reference measurement is 6 cm. So how do you now locate that 6 cm? We are going to measure this 6 cm on this center line on the back part of the sleeve. Do you get it now? So the difference between the point B reference line of the sleeve and the back is 0.5 cm. So that shows that the point F reference line for the sleeve is going to be 6.5. If here is 5, here will be 5.5. Now that ours is 6 cm, definitely the front hole will be 6.5. Now, my point B, you measure from here, 6 cm, your point B. Now here is going to be what? 6.5 cm is your point F. Now the next thing you need to now do is to connect from the sleeve head to this point B, then to this spot. So connect from here, your point B, then to this spot. Then do the same thing on the front block from your point O, which is the middle part of the sleeve. Then connect. After you've done that, the next thing for us to now do is to measure whatever you have from your point O to this point B, divide it into 2 and dot it. Do the same thing from point B to the back underarm point, back UP, and get the middle point. The same thing from point O to point F, look at the middle point and dot it. And from point F to the front underarm point and dot it. So I'm going to measure it out and get what I have there. So from here to here I have 12. So my middle point here is 6. From point B to this place I have 10.5. So that's going to be 5.25. Then from my point O to point F, I have 11, so that's going to be 5.5. Then from this point F to this, I still have 11, so that's going to be 5.5. Now, in actually completing the sleeve block, there is a particular shape we need to do to have a perfect sleeve crown around the crown depth. There is, okay, once you have gotten the midpoint of each of these distance line, then you need to label it. For the front, we have point K, we have point L, we have point M, and point N. Now, each of these points indicate that there's a particular measurement you need to measure in and out to get a perfect sleeve crown shape. Now, for point K, we are going to go inward 1 cm. For point K, we are going to go inward 1 cm. For point L, we are going to go upward 1 cm. Then coming back to the front part, which are point N, we are going to go up 1.2 cm. Then from point N, we're going to come inward 2 cm. So this is going to be in, out. It's going to be out, in. Do we get it? So now let me do that now. We said at point K, I'm coming inward. So you place your ruler and you measure, this is my 1 cm. Then at point L, you are going outward 1 cm. Are you seeing me? Then at point N, you are also going outward 1.2 cm. Then at my point N, you come inward 2 cm. The reason for doing that is because on your sleeve, on your body's block, you can see that the shape of the armhole of the front is different from that of the back. It's a bit deeper because of the chest, across chest measurement. Now, at this point now, I can now like use my curve ruler or my armhole curve to shaping out the crown depth shape. So now, I'm going to start with this. Place at point. Now, once you have your curve ruler, place the curved part of the ruler at point O, touching the 1 cm or then touching the point B. Now look for a path that actually links the two perfectly. Then you flip the ruler this way, making sure it's touching the point B, the 1 cm at point K, then to your underarm points. Then do the same thing in the direction of the front part. Place it at point O, touching point F. So at point N, M now, touching F, see? Then you place this. Now, so I have this now. As you can see now that I have the desired shape of my sleeve block. Now, based on the crown shape. Now, let's come back to the lower part of the sleeve, which is your full sleeve length. There is what we call the basic shaping for the sleeve, because as the sleeve is now, it's very big. So we need to just do a little bit of shaping here. So from this side here, I'm going to come in 4 cm. So now, place your tape measure here. Measure 4 cm in and do the same thing on the right side of the sleeve, 4 cm inward. Then once you are done with that, use a straight ruler to connect from back underarm point to the 4 cm and from the front underarm point to the 4 cm. Then that will be the summary of the basic sleeve block pattern. And from this sleeve block pattern, we will be able to achieve every kind of sleeve you can ever imagine, as long as your skill level of drafting the sleeve has been mastered. So that's what I'm going to end it on, the sleeve, basic sleeve block. So thank you.